Okay, so if you just joined, we are starting with speaking. And with speaking, as I'm sharing my screen with you, I'll be sharing my screen with you so that if you have any question as we keep on talking or we keep on discussing the speaking, you let me know. So the CELPIP speaking test has 8 tasks. So from task 1 to task 8, that is meant for the speaking, the whole speaking. The whole of the speaking takes 20 minutes. The whole of the speaking takes 20 minutes. You will speak from tax 1 to tax 8. So for tax 1, you're supposed to spend 1 minute 30 seconds, that is 90 seconds to speak. So tax 1 and tax 7, you use 90 seconds to speak. For the rest of the task, you're going to use 60 seconds to speak. That is 1 minute. So apart from tax 1 and then tax 7, all the other tasks, you're going to use 60 seconds to talk or to speak. Before that, you have 30 seconds preparation time. You have 30 seconds preparation time to prepare yourself. You have 30 seconds preparation time to prepare yourself. Okay, so with the 8 tasks, you're going to go through the tasks one after the other. We will be going through the task one after the other. So the test is done on a computer. So when you take IELTS and then CELPIP, with the speaking of the IELTS, you meet someone as as you're going for an interview. So you talk, the person will ask you questions for you to answer. But the CELPIP speaking, for the CELPIP speaking, everything is done on the computer. Everything is done on the computer. So um, you'll be given a headset with a microphone so that when you talk, everything that you talk or anything that you speak will be recorded. So with the speaking, we have task 1, that is giving of advice. So we are going through the task from 1 to 8. Task 1 is giving advice. Task 2 is talking about a personal experience. Task 3 is describing a scene. Task 4 is making predictions. Task 5 is comparing and persuading. Task 6 is dealing with a difficult situation. Task 7 is expressing opinions. Task 8 is describing an unusual situation. So these are the tasks within the speaking test. These are the tasks within the speaking test. I will try as much as possible to complete half for today. So if you are able to complete task 1 to task 4, then the next day or tomorrow, we can complete from task 5 to task 8. But for now, let's go through each and every task. Let's go through each and every task. Okay, so before we delve into the task one after the other, I'm just pleading. Please, if you join, just mute yourself. Other than that, I will have to take you off. Okay, so if you just joined, I've created a different channel, a different YouTube channel that I've shared into the group. Kindly subscribe and then share for your friends to subscribe for me. Kindly subscribe and then share for your friends to subscribe for me. Okay, so let's go into our speaking. Task 1. So speaking task 1 is giving advice. So in this task, you'll be given a situation where a friend, a colleague, or a family member is facing a problem or a dilemma. So your job is to offer advice in a clear, structured, and supportive manner. You have 30 seconds to prepare yourself, and you have 90 seconds to talk. You have 30 seconds to prepare yourself, and then 90 seconds to talk. So what are the examiners looking for? What are the examiners looking for? Let me enlarge this. Okay. So the examiners are looking for clarity and structure. So with clarity, they are looking for a cohesiveness of whatever you are speaking about or whatever you are talking about. It should make sense. It should be clear to anyone who is listening. Then the structure of what you're talking about, it should have an introduction, it should have a body, and then it should have a conclusion. So the clarity and structure, they are looking for that. Then your grammar and then your vocabulary. So concord. So your verb and the nouns, they should agree with each other. They should agree with each other. So the boy plays. The boys play. So verb agreement. Verb agreement. Then your vocabulary, whether you are using the right vocabularies or you are not using it. Then your fluency and pronunciation. Fluency and pronunciation. So you shouldn't be someone who pauses too much in his or her talking. So if you are talking, they expect you to flow. They expect you to be able to speak continuously for a while without maybe pausing too much. You can pause, but it shouldn't be obvious that you are just pausing to steal some time. Okay, then they want to see some persuasive and then supportive tone. You are going to advise someone. So advising doesn't mean that you are imposing something on the person. You are just giving a suggestion. So they want you to use some persuasive and then some supportive tone. Make the person feel that um, you are in the same shoes with him or her. That is why you are giving him or advice. You are giving him or her advice. So the examiners are looking for these: clarity and structure, grammar and vocabulary, fluency and pronunciation, persuasive and supportive tone. Okay, let's move on. So these are some of the steps that you are going to look at. The step by step for a high score. So number one, you should understand the situation first. You should understand the situation. What problem are we telling you to give an advice on? What problem are we telling you to give an advice? You should understand it. So the first 5 seconds of your preparation time, you can use that to think about it. Then you quickly analyze the situation given in the prompt. So identify who needs the advice. You should know whether the person is your friend, whether the person is your sibling, whether the person is your colleague. You identify the problem at hand so that you know what to talk about. Is it about time management? Is it about job decision? Is it about health issues? Is it about moving from one city to another? Is it about writing an examination? You should know the problem at hand. Then you should be able to know the kind of advice that would be helpful. The advice, is it an emotional advice, a motivational advice, or a practical advice? So sometimes you should suggest 2 or 3 reasons, strong reasons that you are basing on to advise the person. Okay, let's move on. Step 2, you structure your response. You structure your response. This is when you start to talk. This is when you start to talk. So when you start to talk, the first 10 to 15 seconds should be introduction. So the introduction should be acknowledgement of the problem. You show empathy and an understanding. Then you introduce your advice. So for example, when you're asked to advise a friend, if the friend is preparing for an exam, advise or give the person an advice. So this is an example. I understand that preparing for an exam can be stressful and managing time effectively is a big challenge. I have been in a similar situation before, and I would love to share some advice that helped me. That is your introduction. Sometimes since the person is your friend, you can just build some cordial relationship between you and the person. Let the person listening to you feel that, yes, the person is your friend. So you can just start, hey, David, you can mention the person's name. Hey, Monica, or hey, Mercy. I understand that preparing for an exam can be stressful and managing time. Then you go by that way. So the first 10 to 15 seconds should be your introduction. Then with the main advice, now you've laid down some points. You've laid down some points. So you provide 2 or 3 clear suggestions. Then you support each suggestion with a reason or example. You can support each suggestion with a reason or example. Sometimes you can decide to give just two reasons, two strong reasons, and that will be okay. Sometimes, if you don't have so many things to say, you can choose to give maybe three um, advice. Can give three advice or suggestions. So, for example, first, I recommend creating a detailed study schedule. You can break down your subject into small sections and assign specific times for each. This will help you stay organized and reduce last minute stress. So if you study this one carefully, with the main point that the person is giving advice, you know that the person's advice has been put into paragraphs. So first, second, and lastly. First, second, and lastly. These are called transitional words. So we have transitional words like firstly, primarily, secondly, also, moreover, although. All these words are transitional words that link ideas together. So in this case, the person is given three advices. So the first one, this is the advice. Secondly, that is the advice. And then the last or lastly, he gave an advice there. Okay. Again, in your conclusion, you summarize your key points, and then you encourage the person to take action. Then also you end on a positive note. If you have any question as I'm moving on, you can ask. So, for example, after advising the person or after giving the person advice, you can just go by this way. In summary, by planning your study wisely, taking short breaks, and reducing distractions, you can improve your focus and perform better in your exams. I'm sure you do great. Best of luck. Then you are done. So, with the giving of advice, you should be clear. Then you should state your advice, either 2 points or 3 points. You should be able to state clear suggestions. You should be able to state clear suggestions. For example, your friend is struggling to manage their time while studying for an exam. What advice would you give? What advice would you give? So let's read this advice. So you can see that the person started like this. I completely understand how stressful studying for an exam can be, especially when there are so many topics to cover. Managing time effectively is really important. And I would love to share some tips that have worked well for me. First, then the person suggested the advice. Second, the person suggested an advice. Lastly, the person suggested an advice. Then this is the conclusion. To sum up, by planning ahead, taking breaks, and avoiding distractions, you'll be able to study more efficiently and feel more confident for your exam. I'm sure you'll do well. Just stay consistent and believe in yourself. That is it. That is it. So for the tax one, giving of advice, these are some of the general tips. Use natural and conventional language. So you shouldn't sound as if you have memorized everything in your head. Avoid sounding robotic. like you are stiff reciting something. No, it should flow. It should be a normal conversation. You should picture the person sitting in front of you, and then you giving the person an advice. Then again, you speak at a steady pace. You don't rush too much, and then you don't pause too much. Don't speak very slow, and then don't speak very fast. With the pace that I'm talking right now is very good. When you take your time to talk, and then it gives you time to think about so many things. It gives you time to talk about so many things. And then for you to state clearly your points or your advices to the person. Use a variety of sentence structures so you can mix short and complex sentences. Then you incorporate or use some transitional words, as I already said. So, first, next, also, finally, in summary, to sum up, primarily, furthermore, all these words are all transitional words. Then again, you add personal experiences or examples. So when you are giving an advice to someone, you can just give an instance or you can give a scenario. You can give something that happened in your life. Then based on that, you can advise the person. With that one, you can see that you can buy time giving an experience, giving a personal experience, or giving an example of the advice that you are giving a person, or giving an example of how you survived the same problem that a person find him or herself in. So you can give a personal experience or examples. It makes your responses more relatable. Okay, so that is for tax one. That is for tax one. If you have any question for the tax one, you can bring it up. If you have any question for tax one, you can ask before we look at how it looks like on the portal. Before we look at how it looks like on the portal. Okay, so I'll share another screen and then we will see how it goes. But if you have any question, then you want to
Hello,
ask,
Dad.
you can just
Hello.
ask me.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Janet. I want to know if you'll be given a sheet of paper to write your
Yes.
preparation down or it's on the computer.
Yes, they will give you a paper and a pen or a pencil so that if you have anything to write, if you want to jot down your points, you can just write them.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so someone is asking that, do you have to spend exactly 90 seconds? Okay, we will be looking at how it looks like. So for the speaking, if you speak before your time ends, it will go against you. If you speak before the time ends, it will go against you. So you'll be looking at it. You have to spend exactly the 90 seconds. You have to be able to talk and then cover the time frame that you've been given. So I'm going to share another screen and then we see. Can we all see this one? Okay. Let's go back and then. All right. So I'll share my screen right now and then we see how it goes. Okay. So let me share so that we would be able to see what is going on. But if you have any question then you want to ask, you can. If you have any question that you wish to ask, you can ask. Okay, let's move on to the screen. So this is speaking tax one. Let's have a look at how it looks like. So this is how it will
Speaking
appear.
test instructions. The speaking
Okay.
test is 20 minutes. Tests. Read. This is how much time you have to prepare. This is how much time you have to record your answer. Your preparation time starts once you see the question. Read the question and think about your answer. When you hear, start speaking now, start to answer. When you hear, time is up, stop talking. The blue bar shows how much time you have used for your answer. Practice question. There's one practice question.
Okay, so before you start with the speaking, you have
Read
one
the
practice
question
question.
and
You have
prepare
one free
your
practice
answer.
question. And you are supposed
Please,
to answer that
please, the
too.
audio is not clear. The audio is not clear. We can't hear anything.
Oh, okay. Let me come back and then see. So you didn't hear anything there.
No.
Okay. I think I have to. Okay. So I think. Okay. Let me go back and then see if we can hear that. Is it clear?
Speaking test instructions.
Nah, the same thing.
The speaking
I don't know
test
whether
is
it's
20
the
minutes.
how the download or it
There
was
are 8
downloaded or
tasks
something.
in the speaking test.
Okay.
Please try your best.
We wouldn't hear or we wouldn't need the sound for the speaking. So let's move on to see how it looks like. We wouldn't, yeah. Okay.
We all know.
Yeah. So with the speaking practice, you have to talk about one of your best friends. So you have a preparation time like this. So with the 30 seconds, it will count down to 1. Then you'll be asked to talk. It will count down to 1, then you'll be asked to talk. So there's one question that comes for the practice question. Then you start to talk. So you'll be speaking or you'll be talking whilst the bar goes or moves to the other end. So you keep on talking. All right. So let's move on to the next one. That is the giving of advice. So we have a question like this. Your friend wants to help some of her classmates improve their reading skills. Give her advice on what she should do to help them. So this, you have 30 seconds to prepare and then talk. You have 30 seconds to prepare and talk. You have 30 seconds to prepare and talk. I wish I could play. Okay, well, you said you have a question. YB.
Yeah, hello. Yeah. My question is so yeah, you can say speaking now with the
Please,
time
can you
and
can you speak? Yeah, others are not from Ghana, so I would
okay,
appreciate
okay,
if you can. Yeah.
okay, yeah. I'm saying with the speaking, you can't you can sometimes finish before the time. You can finish before the time, and sometimes when you're doing you can't even you don't have nothing to say. Then the time will just end. Can you do that? Can you just end before the time, or that's the question? Or do you get what I'm
Okay.
saying? Yeah.
We said for the speaking,
Yeah. Yeah.
can you finish before your time?
Yeah. And also like it can come a time that maybe your words are finished, then the time will end. So that's what I want to ask.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think I said this that it is better for you to talk whilst the time ends than you to stop talking before the time ends. It is good as you're talking and then the time will just cut off. That is okay. So that one it is okay, or that one is better than you not finishing with your time. So you can start talking, but you wouldn't finish what you are saying, then the time elapses. That is okay. But try as much as possible that if you have about 10 seconds left, you can sum up and then end it. But if you don't end it and then your time elapses, it is okay. But it is not good. It is not good if you don't end with your time. Someone might speak faster, and then when it is time, the person might stop talking before the time ends. That is not actually good. So it is better for you to talk and then use within your time than to stop talking before your time ends. So I would want us to practice
I
for
have a
the
question.
tax one.
I have a question, please.
Okay, you can ask.
Yes. So regarding when you shared your screen, the first question that came that can tell us about your friend. I want to, in case maybe I get such a question, am I supposed to start with my friend's name, or how should I answer such a question, please? Thank you.
Okay. So let's go back and then see. I want someone to help us with this. Who wants to talk? Who wants to talk?
Speaking test in
Let's practice. Let's practice this. Who wants to talk? I want someone to try that. Um,
Can we
who
see
wants
the
to talk?
question first so that in case of
No, you won't see the question first because when you go to the exam center, you don't see the question. You will see it. You have 30 seconds to prepare. Then you talk.
let me give it a try.
Okay. So this is it. You have 30 seconds to prepare. So this practice question will come. You will meet it. With the practice questions, they are same, so you meet it. So it is better you practice it. So when you hear talk, then you start. When it counts down to zero. So three, two, one. Okay, talk.
Okay, I would like to tell you a bit about my friend that I met on campus last Friday. We were given an assignment and I met him for us to discuss about it. He's called Clement Wedi and he's from Ghana. He's 5.7 feet tall, science student back home, but here he's to study PSW course. So we were given a assignment for us to discuss about it. He knows more about the PSW and per his experience and explanation toward me, I fall deeply understanding for it. So I decided to continue studying with him so that I would know more about the PSW.
Okay, that was a good try. Someone is asking that our practice question graded. No, they are not scored, but you should do. so that it will prepare you. So that was a good try. I maybe that was a good try. So the person that asked the question, if you're asked to talk about your best friend, you can start anywhere. But at least if you are talking about your best friend, we should know the name. We should know something that the person likes. And then why is the person your best friend? Maybe you have so many friends. Why is the person your best friend? So you can use that. You can start from anywhere, but let us know the details that I'm talking about. We should know
So
the name, maybe the
that
age. Yeah.
please pair what I just did right now. I think the name came in where he's from and the course that we are pursuing and the reason why I'm more interested in working with him because he has the experience about it. Is that okay? Or
With
next?
yours, with yours, I feel more that you deviated a little bit from what you were supposed to talk about.
Really?
Yes, for me, I don't know if someone also felt that you were supposed to talk. You're
You're
supposed
supposed to talk
to,
about your best friend, not somebody you met on campus.
yeah, you're supposed to talk about your best friend, but it seems more like a friend that you met on campus, and then you're talking about some assignment or something else. So it's
Okay,
supposed to be
well
like
noted.
So
describing yourself.
your childhood
When you are
friend,
told to, mhm.
can you talk about your childhood friend and why
Yes,
you've been able to maintain that friendship till now? Okay,
yes, and
okay.
Oh,
that gives why he
okay,
is your best friend.
okay, okay,
Do you
okay.
get it now?
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, thank you.
So that then you give reason why you like that person is your best friend. So you can start like, I have so many friends, and one of my best friend is called David. David has been someone that we've been friends for about 15 years. Though I have so many friends, but I'll choose David over all of my friends every day. The reason why he's my best friend is that whenever I'm in need, he's there to help me. I remember one time, so this is when you can give a scenario. I remember one time that I needed some money to pay my fees. None of my friends were able to help me. But guess what? My best friend, who is David, that I'm talking about right now, came in to help me at the right time. He is very loyal, and I can't miss a day without talking to him, either on phone or visiting him in his house. David will always be my best friend. So by the time you talk about all these, you'll be able to cover your 90 seconds. And guess what? If you've written the CELPIP before, you agree with me that the time moves faster than when you are practicing. Those that have written it before, if you can testify to that, the time moves faster than when you are practicing. When you are practicing, it seems that when you are practicing, it seems very easy. When you are practicing, it seems you have a lot of time. But when you get to the examination center and then you are given the question to solve, you realize that the time moves faster. So you should be able to take your time. You should be able to take your time. That is what I have observed. You should be able to check your time. Okay, so I would want two people, just two. If we are able to cover part one and two for today, that is okay. I would want two people to practice the giving of advice, the main question. I want two people. Who wants to try the first one? I want two people. Who wants to try the first one? Or if you don't talk, I have to mention your name because I have your name here. So it's better you own up and then you talk. I just want two people, or I should skip it and move on.
No, 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 no. We should try it.
So any other person who wants to try? Because I can see Queen St, I can see Thomas, I can see Ishmael, I can see Mabel, K, Philomena. They are all here. So talk. Benjamin, I can see Benjamin, can see Mercy, I can see Ato Elvis. Janet is also here. Emmanuel
Can
Pia
I
is also
try?
here. Okay. I was about to mention your name.
Huh?
So if you have owned up, let's move on and try.
Okay, you say you needed
Okay, so
two
you are
people
moving
to
on
try
to
on the same question.
All right. So
no, you're going to try a different question.
should I
So I'm
try,
moving on
Ishmael?
to that question. Are you ready?
Oh, okay. Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
ready.
So you have 30 seconds to prepare for this.
Okay.
So go.
Hi, Kofi. How are you? I hope you are doing great. I heard from one of your friends that you are helping Chrissy to improve his reading skills. Um, I know it's not easy when you're trying to assist someone to read, but I'm going to give you some few steps when you follow can help her to improve her reading skills. Firstly, what you have to do is to allow her to download a software copy called Jupyter Notebook. This software helps people to understand the fundamentals of reading and then to understand how she'll be able to arrange her grammatical terms. Secondly, you can also organize a personal group studies with her where she can join you so you can also help her to improve her reading skills. Thirdly, what you can also do is to give her a site called First Come First Serve and How to Learn English. This is where I learned how to write and speak my English online teaching, where you have the opportunity to have projects on speaking and then writing as well. Hey, I have confidence in you. I know you can support her to achieve and improve her reading skills. Thank you. I wish you all the best. Oh my
Hey,
God.
do you do you feel tired?
Sorry. I'm standing outside. Sorry.
Oh, okay. All right. So that was a good one. That was a good one. So your friend wants to help some of her classmates
Yeah.
improve their reading skills, give her advice on what she should do to help them. So that was a good one. You were able to give your advice sequentially, and then your talking pace was also okay. Your talking pace was okay, and you were able to cover your time, cover the 90 seconds that you were given. So thumbs up.
I
That
have a
was a very good one. Okay, who wants to try the next one? I just want the last person.
The ladies should speak, eh?
Who wants to talk? Who wants to talk? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
And
Can I
no one is talking.
can I can I try?
Okay.
I'm quite nervous.
If
I'll try.
no, don't be. If it continues to be like this, then it means that we shouldn't let people practice. I'll just teach it and then I'll move on. Okay. All right, let me share the screen again and then you have 30 seconds to prepare yourself.
That this same question.
Yeah.
Hey, Judy, I can see you want to help some of our classmates who are having challenges, and I think it's a good idea, and I support that. First of all, I would suggest you um know first of sorry. No.
So these mistakes are bound to happen. So don't worry. Let me go back for you to start again. So you have 30 seconds to prepare. It happens when it becomes your first time talking or speaking. So when you are talking, and even if you fumble, don't stop. Even if you fumble, don't stop. Keep on talking.
Hey, Judy, I trust you are doing well. I can see you want to help most of our classmates who are having challenges in their reading skills. First of all, I think I support you in this decision, and then I have some suggestions you can use to help them. First of all, secondly, I think we can look at there are lots of sites on YouTube which they can use with your assistance to help them improve their reading skills. I can also be of assistance in case you need me. Also, we can organize them, first of all, meet them, and then know their strengths and their weaknesses. And based on that, you can assist them and know how to help them. I really trust you can do this because you have helped me and I know you can. Thank you.
So you still have some time. So this was what I was talking about.
I think
That if you finish
I'm nervous.
earlier before your time,
I'm nervous.
so you're talking for 90 seconds.
Jesus.
So you
That
shouldn't
please let me
finish it.
try after this one.
Oh,
I wanted two people, so I don't think we are coming back to try it again. So you can just take notes of the question and then maybe you try it when you are home. Then you time yourself. I want us to move to the next step
oh.
Before we
or the
move on,
next
I have
task.
a question.
So this was what I was talking about. This was what I was talking about. That if you have this, you shouldn't finish before your time. You shouldn't finish before your time. You should be able to talk within your time. You should be able to talk within your time. So that you have some marks. So the 30 seconds that you are given, you should be able to gather your thoughts. With the 30 seconds that you're given, you should be able to gather your thoughts. So those listening or those watching us, this is a lesson to every one of us, each and every one of us, so that we will be able to cover the time frame that we've been given. Okay, let's move on to the tax two. So this is how the tax one looks like. This is how the tax one looks like. We are moving on to the tax two. We are moving on to the tax two. Okay, let's move to tax two. Tax two of the speaking test. So we are done with tax one. task 2 of the speaking test is talking about a personal experience. Talking about a personal experience. Yes, this is task 2. Talking about a personal experience. Bear in mind that they mark logic, but they don't mark truth. Remember when you were in JHS or you were in SHS, when you are writing your WASI, you can be asked to write a letter to your uncle who is in abroad. But meanwhile, you don't have any uncle abroad. So with that, are you going to write it or not? We still write them. Sometimes they ask you, describe how you celebrated your Christmas holidays. You can lie about you traveling outside your town or you traveling outside the country. This is where we need those lies. If you have PhD in lying, in cooking stories, this is where you are needed. So talking about a personal experience, you'll be asked to describe a personal experience from your past. So the goal is to tell a well-structured and engaging story. You are telling a story that demonstrates your ability to narrate events clearly. So with that one, you have preparation time of 30 seconds. Then you talk for 60 seconds. That is for 1 minute. What the examiners are looking for, they are looking for you to say or for you to tell them a clear storytelling with a beginning, middle, and end. Don't turn your story upside down. Let us know the introduction, the main body of your story, and then the end of it. Also, use good use of past tense and transition words. Since it is a past experience, you'll be using the past tense because it is not present. It is not happening now. It has happened. So the verbs that you'll be using should be in the past. Then you should be using transition words like moreover, firstly, primarily, secondly, also, although. We've been telling you that. Then fluency and natural pronunciation. Don't try to slang if you're not good. Don't try to slang. Just speak normally as I'm speaking. Just speak normally as I'm speaking. Don't try to please them by pronouncing some words in a certain way. Pronounce it as you can pronounce it and let it be clear. Flow. Let your story flow. Let the person listening to your story get the understanding, get a feeling of the story, of the past events that you're talking about. Then relevant details without going off topic. Relevant details. Maybe you want to give a scenario to the thing or to the story or to the past experience that you're talking about. Don't give a scenario which is opposite of what you're supposed to talk about. Then again, you varied sentence structures and strong vocabulary. Use simple words. Don't use big English or some type of English that you yourself don't understand. So know where you're using certain English or know where you're using certain words. Know where you're using certain words. So you varied sentences. You can use simple sentences, you can use complex sentences, you can use compound sentences. So all these gives you some marks, or all these gives you some points that the examiners are looking for. Okay, so first thing is identify the experience you will talk about. Identify the experience you talk about. The experience you talk about will be in the question. 2, make sure it's easy to explain in 60 seconds. So don't take an experience that you think you wouldn't be able to explain within 60 seconds. 1 minute. 1 minute. 60 seconds is 1 minute. So take an experience that you can explain yourself within that 1 minute. Take an experience that you think you can explain yourself within that 1 minute. Then also Choose something interesting or meaningful. Choose something interesting or meaningful. So example of such is that you can get a question like this. Describe a time when you helped someone. Talk about a time when you learned something new. Or describe a time when you had to solve a problem quickly. You have 30 seconds to think about this. So also structure your response. So remember that you have only 60 seconds. So you keep it simple. You keep it simple. If you have menopause that you can talk beating around the bush, it is not needed here. You go straight to the point. You talk about the main point. You keep it simple within 60 seconds, and then you're okay. So you clearly state what happened. You mention when, where it happened, when and where it happened. So you have when, where, who, and then how. When it happened, who were involved, where it happened, and then how did it happen. So, for example, one memorable experience I had was helping a lost child at a shopping mall last year. I was shopping when I saw a little girl crying alone near the entrance. So, this is a very interesting, or this is a very nice introduction. This is a very nice introduction. Then you come to the main story. So, with the main story, you describe what actions you took, you explain how you felt, and use details to make it interesting. For example, at first, so you're going to describe how it happened, your past experience. You are describing how it happened. So at first, she looked scared. So I approached her gently and asked if she was lost. She nodded but couldn't remember her parents' phone number. I quickly took her to the customer service desk where they made an announcement. A few minutes later, her mother arrived, crying with relief. It was such an emotional moment. That is the main story. Then, with a conclusion, you explain what you learned from the experience. You explain what you learned from the experience with your final 10 to 15 seconds. You end with a reflection or a takeaway. So, for example, that experience taught me how important it is to stay calm in stressful situations. It also reminded me that small acts of kindness can make a big difference in someone's life. So, you have a sample response here. Describe a time when you helped someone. So, this is a sample response. One memorable experience I had was helping a lost child at a shopping mall last year. I was shopping when I noticed a little girl crying near the entrance, looking around nervously. At first, so this is where the person has started to describe what happened. So, where it happened is the shopping mall. How it happened is what the person is about to say. So, at first, she seemed scared. So I approached her gently and asked if she was lost. She nodded but couldn't remember her parents' phone number. I quickly took her to the customer service desk where they made an announcement. A few minutes later, her mother arrived, crying with relief. It was such an emotional moment. That experience taught me how important it is to stay calm in stressful situations. It also reminded me that small acts of kindness can make a big difference in someone's life. That is it. That is it. So, general tips for this one: use past tense correctly. You should be able to use past tense correctly. So, since you are describing a past event, use past tense verbs. You add emotions. Express how you felt during that experience. Did you feel disheartened? Did you feel very happy? Did you feel uncomfortable? Did you feel safe? All these are emotions that you can express when you are describing a past experience. Then the use of transition words, it cut across all the speaking. First, then after that, finally, secondly, also, moreover, therefore, furthermore, all these are called transitional words. Then you keep it simple and clear. Keep it simple and clear. Focus on one event. Don't add unnecessarily details. Don't add unnecessary details. Don't add unnecessary details. So that is it for the tax 2. Tax 2, giving of advice. That is it for the tax 2, giving of advice. If you have any question for the tax 2, you can ask before we move on to see how it looks like on the portal or on the examination day. Is there anyone that, okay, HPs, you can ask your question.
Thank you very much. Please, for answering this question, like talking about the event, do we have to follow a particular order as to using this when, where, who, and how, or we can just mix it and ensure they all have this information?
Yeah, you don't have a particular sequence that let the when come first or let the who comes first, but it should contain by the end of whatever you're saying, it should you should be able to capture that in whatever you say. So when you are talking about maybe a holiday that you went, or a vacation that you went, or you went for a vacation, describe that. So if you are describing a vacation that you recently went, for, then one, we should know where you went for the vacation. Maybe you went with someone. What happened there? So all these will have to capture, or you have to capture that in everything that you say within that 1 minute. So it doesn't have a sequence that it should follow. But at the end of what you are talking, yeah. All right. So let's move on to see how it looks like. Let's move on to see how it looks like. Okay. So we're going to look at an example of the talking. Okay, let me go back. Who wants to try? I want someone to try without seeing the question. Without seeing the question. Well, this is how it will look like. You wouldn't have a preview to the question before your exam. So it is better you try, you practice here than to wait till the time is near. Is there anyone who wants to talk? Is there anyone who wants to, is there anyone who wants to talk? If no one is talking, I have your names here. So when I mention your name, then you start talking. Or is there anyone who wants to volunteer and then talk? Okay, let me skip. I think that would be better. Let me skip and then move on. If no one is.
No, let me try. Let me try.
Okay. Okay. So you have 30 seconds to read the question and then know what you're talking about, what you want to talk about. Okay, talk.
Okay. I want to share my experience by meeting one manager at Eurotech Engineering and Construction. I went there to bid and contract. By going there with the general manager of Eurotech Engineering, we explained what the company entails of. And per the explanation to him, he was happy about it and he considered giving us the contract. Per our monetary condition and the cost involved, ours was far better than the rest of the contract bidded to them. I was very excited and happy of getting that contract.
All right. So that was a very good try. That was a very good try. You were able to finish within your time. So that is a plus. Do we have anyone who wants to try this question too? That someone wants to try the question also? Okay, Linda. Linda wants to try. Okay, so let me go back, then I'll give you 30 seconds for you to try. So this is how it looks like when you go and sit for the exam. You don't have preview to the question. You have 30 seconds to read the question, think about what you're about to say. And as I said, the time moves faster in there than as we are practicing here. So don't take it as a joke. It's something serious.
This is somewhere 2022. I got a job opportunity and it was to be on my nursing field. I completed school somewhere 2018 and I was not posted. So during that 2022, we had the opportunity to be posted. And fortunately for me, I got some people or some other colleagues who were there to help me out to get more experience on the field since it was my first time to be on field. I was so happy because I stayed home for a longer time or a longer period. So I was so sad. So when I got there, I was very happy and I bear in mind to work very hard with the team members. So it was good for me to do that.
All right. So this is also a good try. You were able to finish within your time. The talking piece was okay. Talking piece was okay. Then I could understand whatever you were trying to say. I could understand whatever you were trying to say. So that is a good try. So this is something of the tax two. This is something of the tax two. So if anyone has a question that the person wants to ask, we can, or the person can bring it up because the tax three and tax four goes together. The tax three and tax four goes together. So I would want us to do the tax three and the tax four tomorrow because tax three is the same as tax four. The picture will be shown to you for tax three, tax four, the picture will be shown again. So I want us to treat those two together for tomorrow. So for now, we talked about speaking tax one and tax two. Tax one is giving of advice. Tax two is talking about a personal experience. So if you have any question, we are open to questions. Or if you have any contribution I want to add to what we just did, you can bring it down.
That please per this one the tax one, is it always giving advice to someone, and the
Yeah,
tax two is always having telling them about experience or something that
yes. So I gave
okay.
you, I started with the test format. So the format is same. The format doesn't change, but the questions in the format changes. The questions in the format change, but the format doesn't change. So with the format, it is always same. With the format, it is always same. So this is the whole thing. This is the whole thing. Tax one, you always give an advice. Task 2, you always talk about a personal experience. So you just have to learn how to give the advice, how the format is, give the advice, talk about a personal experience. That is it. That is it. With your introduction of the giving of advice, you can find it from the question. When they're talking about a personal experience, the question will give you some knowledge about it. So yes, you always have to give advice and you always have to talk about a personal experience.
Well, what about in the case where they say talk about your friend?
Yeah, when they're talking about your friend is the practice test. That is not graded. The practice test is always talk about your friend. It is not graded. It is not graded. So talk about your friend is the practice test, but the main test format is what I've given you. This is the main test format. So talking about your friend doesn't come in here. Talking about your friend doesn't come in here. It comes for the for the practice question, but it doesn't fall in here. If you are lucky, I don't know, if you are lucky to get that one as a practice question, and then maybe talk about a personal experience, you have to talk about your friend, then you are lucky. Then we talk about it. Your experience with your friend, we talk about it. But with the tax 1 and 2, this is the format. You always give advice and then you always talk about a personal experience. So Philomena is saying that, can we get your outline you are presenting now? Hey, Philomena. Okay, so I'll just, with this one that we just did, I'll just upload it on YouTube for everyone to go and have a look at it. I'll upload it on YouTube. So when we are done, I'll just go and upload it. So if you want to jot something down, then you jot it down. So that is the best that I can do. That is the best that I can do. Yeah. Is there anyone with a question before we end for today? Is there anyone with a question?
Please, you asking us who want to try, I don't think everyone is ready to try. So be mentioning names. Just mention your
I
name,
want
try it. We are all learning together.
one thing is, okay, we will I'll end here for this and then maybe we will discuss that. So let me stop recording and then see. Okay.